This is the final of the factions in the Langobard or the Longbeard DLC that I will be looking at, and it's the Longbeards. The Longbeards, all of their unique units are infantry units. And we're going to start out with the very cheap Langobard clubs. Their melee stats are not great, their armor and health is great, because they are an essential tanky unit. They also have shield wall. The shield wall gives them a bonus against infantry of 15, and the club that they wield gives them a bonus against infantry of 10. So when these units are in shield wall, they have a bonus against infantry of 25, which is extremely good on a unit that costs 350, but not a great charge. So if you in any way can make the enemy charge into you in wall, that's going to be great. A step up from these guys, we have the Scaled Clubman, and they have a 20, not a 10 bonus against infantry. It stacks with the shield wall, so they now have a 35 bonus against infantry if they are in wall. They will be able to defeat quite a few units on the charge, not because of their great charge bonus, but just because of that 20 bonus versus infantry. Great armor, great health, extremely tankiness. And in terms of upgrades, it can be worth putting a few upgrades on these units, because each hit that you get with them is going to be very valuable because of the bonus against infantry. Just never use them against cavalry and cavalry blobs, they are horrible for that job. Then we have the Horse Hewers and the Horse Slayers. They have a 30, not a 40 bonus against cavalry. Again, the encyclopedia is wrong. The game's data files specify that they have a 30 bonus, not a 40 bonus. The Horse Slayers are fast, they are light, they will get wrecked in one charge by a heavy cavalry unit. One charge is all it takes to kill them, so ideally you want to stop enemy cavalry and then send in the Horse Hewers. They also have guerrilla deployment, and they ignore terrain. So they die to missiles, they die to cavalry charges, they die to infantry. They can do a decent job due to their very high charge bonus and their frenzied charge into the backs of enemy units. Plus 25% charge bonus, acceleration and charge speed. It also makes them unbreakable while they are charging. For 30 seconds these guys are unbreakable, and that makes them useful in going in for YOLO charge against cavalry, but be aware that if you use this ability and you rush into enemy cavalry, you're just going to die either way. It's not going to help that you're unbreakable, because you're not going to have any men remaining. The Horse Slayers are a step up from the Horse Hewers. In terms of their killing potential, isn't that much better than the Horse Hewers. But they are not that much more expensive either. They have a bit more armor, but still very poor armor, poor health. Good morale though. Again, you want to use them the exact same way as you use the Horse Hewers. You want to use them in extended melee with cavalry that is tied down. Now the Young Wolves, don't bring the Young Wolves. Potentially useful for flanking due to scare and rapid advance, but they just lose against too many units in the game due to their very low melee defense, very low armor and very low health. Their iconic unit, the Godens Men and the Godens Chosen. High melee attack, extremely good melee damage with armor piercing damage, good melee defense, decent charge bonus, decent armor and health. They can also go berserk, and when they go berserk, you will lose control of this unit, and that is something to be aware of, because a cunning enemy could just, and I've done this in several battles, when these units go berserk, you can use a cavalry unit to attack them, and then you can pull them away, wait until they're not berserk, give them a charge, and off they go. So the berserk ability is going to mean that if they're exhausted, they're going to become fresh right away, which is potentially useful. So the Godens Men are more useful than the Scaled Clubmen in killing cavalry and such. The Scaled Clubmen are very good against infantry, but these, due to their high AP and high melee damage, they can do a decent job against cavalry if they're able to join the fight. The Godens Chosen, way too expensive. They have a high melee attack, again good weapon damage, decent charge bonus, very good melee defense, but a bit low on the armor side, and the lack of shield wall also hurts these units to a substantial degree. They can go berserk, but having a unit as expensive as this go berserk is not really something you want. It's much better and much more cost effective than the other units that can go berserk, the Norse berserkers and the Vandal berserkers. Still wouldn't bring them. And I'm not going to show the units on the battlefield because I did that in the other video, and I'll link to it in the description. But I will be taking a look at a few builds that I have tried and that were decently effective. 6 scaled clubmen, 6 Germanic horsemen, 2 Germanic lancers, and you can bring some 2 Godensmen, for example. If you want to bring... This is mainly for the fair effect. These guys will hold forever. These guys go on the flanks to support the cavalry, to take care of enemy infantry that tries to attack your cavalry and support there. They can do a very good job against spears and low tier melee units. Now, horse hewers. If you want to bring less of these scaled clubmen, you absolutely can bring a few horse hewers to support each cavalry, each flank of the cavalry can be very useful. So now you have a fairly strong infantry line that can be supported like this. The horse hewers go on the flanks, the Godensmen go on the flanks, the scaled clubs hold the center, and hopefully together with the horse hewers, the fair from the Godans, and the Germanic horse, you should be able to win quite a few cavalry engagements. And the enemy would have to support its cavalry, because you have these units. The enemy would have to support the cavalry with its own infantry, so that would pull more infantry away from the fight, because getting charged by Germanic horse and then follow up with horse hewers is not something a lot of cavalry units are able to survive. So that is a build that I think is one of the better Langobard builds that you could bring. There are of course several other options. You can go super cheap on the Langobard clubs, bring a lot of them, use them mainly in shield wall for holding. Then you can bring 6 Germanic horse, noble Germanics, some hewers to take care of the... And this is a build where the entire focus is to take care of enemy... cavalry. So the focus is to make these guys hold the center, take care of enemy cavalry with upgraded Germanic horse and horse hewers. Then you have some funds remaining you can spend on, for example, you can take out some Langobard clubs. It's possibly overkill to have such a high amount, and then bring some Godensmen also to support the cavalry wings together with the horse hewers. So I think the Burgundians, the best infantry in terms of melee infantry, belongs to the Langobards of all of the Longbear DLC factions. However, that advantage is nullified by mainly one unit from the Burgundians. This one, the Burgundian Axis. On the charge, just say goodnight to all of your Langobard melee units. So the Langobards can't rely on their infantry alone to win them any fights, because, well, infantry dies to shock infantry and to cavalry. But in supporting their cavalry and using their infantry as a holding force, the Langobards can do very well. Strength and honor.